Hi guys, my name is Arthur and I'm a social work major, and I really hope you guys enjoy this video. We worked really hard on it, and everybody that is in this video, I thank them, our group thanks them. They're very special to us, so please enjoy. My name is Sydney Torres and my major is in psychology.
Hello everyone, my name is Ryan. I'm a nursing major and this is our intro to Protect and Preserve Hawaii. I hope you guys enjoy and thank you for listening and watching.
We live the first half of our lives learning what we value, and the second half trying to embrace it. I just want to help people discover themselves sooner.
The coal and the olive right here. All coming up.
For me, a big thing was seeing my loved ones get old and pass on, with reflections of how much people in my everyday life brought me where I am today. Building connections with people, our land, and protecting what we cherish ensures a future for generations to come. Hawaii is the most isolated archipelago in the world, making it the invasive species capital of the world as well. An invasive species outcompetes other species for limited natural resources, heavily impacting ecosystems. Sound familiar? If we use our natural resources and not give back to it, we ourselves become the worst invasive species ever known. When I first started down this path, I kept hearing and seeing terms like spreading awareness, sustainability. I've actually seen it so much throughout my life. But does it really mean anything? Climate change, carbon emissions, greenhouse gases, moderation, balance of opposites. It hits everyone at different stages in their life, or not at all. Awareness and tune of sorts. It could take tragedy, humility, a life-changing moment, sympathy for living things, seeing things through their eyes, feeling things through their hearts, wanting a future for them is why we're so dedicated to our mission. The simple thing about it is if we use more than can be replaced, we're going to run out. Protect and Preserve Hawaii was founded for just that, to protect and preserve Hawaii. The beautiful resources it has to offer, along with the people within it. We can only appreciate something if we know it. We create these opportunities so you can, with hopes of opening up the possibility to have a lifestyle with intent and balance.
Aloha everyone. While our group focuses on protecting and preserving Hawaii's values of people, culture, and the environment, we heavily look towards the overwhelming surge of tourism and transplant culture here on the islands. Although tourism is a leading industry in our economy, it has also fueled the loss of identity and environmental integrity among the native and local community. Social media has amplified this issue by influencing harmful visitor behavior and bringing overcrowding damage to native ecosystems. To gather insight into the community's stance on this issue, we distributed a Google form to our peers, families, and friends. We reached 21 people for this survey, with a majority of them acknowledging the degradation of local lands due to tourism and social media. When we asked, "Have you noticed changes in the environment and ecosystems due to tourism and social media sharing?" 92.5% of them said yes. They even expanded into the destruction caused by tourist attractions that focus on profitability over the protection of the land. Another question we asked was, "How do you think disrespecting indigenous lands affects Native Hawaiian communities?" While all the responses looked somewhat similar, I'd like to highlight a few. One of them saying, "It monetizes Hawaiian people and their culture, oftenly to the extent where natives have less of a voice to advocate and protect themselves from gentrification of their homeland and culture." Another answer said, "It takes away what little cultural spaces that Hawaiians have, and people should be more educated, especially tourists. Land, sacred land, is important to indigenous communities. It represents where they're from, their ancestors, and what they hope for in their future. It connects them to the land and their people." We also asked, "How important do you think it is to respect local and indigenous lands when sharing tourism spots?" Another 92.5% of them said very or extremely important. Based on our previous knowledge and the results of this survey, we can recognize the overwhelming agreement and the need to respect Native Hawaiian and local voices. Ignorance is prevalent in tourist and transplant culture in Hawaii, with social media exacerbating the issue of disrespect. In order to reach a point of change, effort from all involved parties to Hawaii's degradation is needed. Left unchecked, tourism is the main contributor for two things in Hawaii, the more known one being the economy, and the other being the degradation of the environment and culture. Cultural exploitation here in Hawaii is substantial, as tourism markets Hawaiian culture in a commodified version. An example of this would be hula. It's often reduced to mere entertainment, ignoring its profound value of storytelling, connection to the land, their ancestors, and spiritual energy. Stereotypical symbols such as tropical prints, pineapples, plastic leis, and things like that often serve no connection to authentic Hawaiian traditions. Hanauma Bay is an excellent example of environmental destruction by the tourism industry. What was once a pristine marine life sanctuary saw up to 3 million visitors per year. Due to these visitors, behaviors such as trampling on coral reefs, disturbing the marine life, and wearing sunscreens with toxic chemicals have led to the decline in the fish population and biodiversity. In response to this impact, visitors are now limited to up to 1,400 people per day and are required to watch an educational video on park preservation, marine life, and safety. Sharing activities and places to do online without disclaimers, whether it be a tourist attraction like the bay or hidden gems on the island, can lead to environmental harm and overcrowding. Although it may seem like a fun viral post, it can lead to harm when people visit and leave trash, ignore areas that are kapu, disturb wildlife and native plants, and even put a strain on our natural resources such as our water. If the locals are keeping it a secret and not distributing it out online for everyone to see, why aren't you? Too often have we seen crowds traveling here and even moving into our homes with the wrong intentions, sometimes acting with entitlement and treating our home like their personal paradise and endless vacation. This perpetuates the cultural and historical trauma experienced by the Native Hawaiian people, and we don't intend to let the cycle continue any further with any level of similarity. The reason our group chose protecting and preserving Hawaii as our topic is because of our innate connection to it. As our group consists of local and Native Hawaiian people, we have a first-hand understanding of how the land's fragile ecosystem and rich heritage are intertwined in our community. Native Hawaiians have been stewards of the land since the beginning of their time, and they understand its needs. Our project is set to inspire people to protect and respect what makes Hawaii truly special. Past Hawaii's natural beauty that we all admire, tourists often overlooked the connections between it all. The phrase, "Malama Aina," extends into the way locals interact with one another and with the world. Our values for love, compassion, and respect for everything before us embodies the mindset that all should apply when they come to Hawaii. When speaking about conservation and protecting indigenous voices in Hawaii, we're met with critics who target their right to visit and their right to do anything they want in the islands. While it's not our goal to completely stop the flow of tourism in Hawaii, it is well within our rights and well within our kuleana to be spokespeople for the land and our community in which we call home. This isn't about excluding anyone. It's about preserving the land for future generations.
Aloha again, guys. We did an interview with Kumu Kimiona. He works with Preserve, but he does not speak for Protect and Preserve. So he has a lot to say about the topic on tourism, and we thought that he was the best pick. So we hope you really, really enjoy what he has to say, and maybe you'll take something from it. Thank you.
The straightforward question is, you got all these people that come here, whether they come here for 3 years, they come here for school, whether they come here for vacation, and, you know, in their mindset, oh, I don't want anybody to ruin my vacation. I don't want anybody to ruin my time being in paradise. I paid for this. What is your response to those people that want to post videos in an area that you steward? And they're going to go there no matter what, right? None of us can stop them unless we
could.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah.
But what would you say to those people that want to post these in these arrogant videos? Like, what would you want to say? Like, how would they go about it to be able to get what they want, but also post it or they post it at the same time, but also cater to what you want them to post?
Yeah, I don't think they are compatible. I think it's difficult to expect someone who's gonna post from an ignorant space how to make them not ignorant, which would mean that we don't do the post, right? And so I don't know that there's a balance in there. I think it's one or the other. And I think what we're finding is the more of these examples that are present in our communities, the more communities are stepping up to say, get your shit out of here. Your ignorance allowed you to put that money into something you thought you could assume to control, right? And so I think as communities rise up and begin to explore ways in which they can confront those challenges, they're going to, right? Waimanalo is a great example of that. Right. There is a bill and a ban now on tourism in terms of buses, trolleys, vans, passenger vans that are not allowed to stop in Waimanalo public spaces. That's a result of community members being overwhelmed by people who come in and say, I paid my dues, I can do whatever I want. Yeah. And we have to navigate that safely. I don't think anyone wants to choose the pathway of violence. But we have to create a different standard. And that standard is, how are you going to engage as a guest? No matter how much money you paid, as a guest, how are you going to engage? Because your dollar does not, to me, qualify for any way, shape, or form for me to have to cater to you in a place that my family has been for years. You want to spend those dollars, spend it in the hotel where the hotel was created for that function. There are places I think that behavior and that mindset and attitude might be supported. I think in a cultural and reverent space, I think we would challenge that. And so can we coexist? I don't think we can. I honestly believe in my community in Waimanalo, we're trying to look at days where only Native Hawaiian beneficiaries can occupy a space. And if you are not a beneficiary of Native Hawaiian Trust, of Native Hawaiian legacies, you don't belong there. It's funny that, and it's sad that in our time, we have to fight for something as simple as that, where we think it should be common sense. Who should have the first rights to these things? The people that are of this place. But that's not the case. Yeah. And so we're now having to reestablish and commit ourselves to assertion, right? Again, that says to a person, I don't care where you came from or how much money you spent. Our home is not your vacation. Our family burial spaces are not for your pleasure. And to those people, we offer other opportunities, right? What other ways can you contribute to a community beyond just $1 that we will not see? We will not see it. And the information that's shared there is just that if one chooses to come for purpose beyond self. Come and learn, come and be in the community, come and struggle with them for a minute. Yeah. There's ways to enjoy, and I think our ideas of what that enjoyment looks like is gonna differ. And I'm happy to disagree with people. At the end of the day, my family is of this place. Our people are of this place. We shouldn't have to bow to others because their dollar is supposedly meaning more to us than our relationship to our history. And so I offer that in the idea of us trying to collaborate on ways of thinking and ways of engagement, that we take a reset. COVID was a beautiful opportunity for us to reset. Yeah, we didn't learn enough from COVID, and we didn't act enough from the outcomes of what COVID challenged our communities to do. Yeah. Did we suffer from tourism? Some would argue that we did not. Did our ecosystem suffer from that break? Some would say it absolutely did wonders. There's science and research that shows the reflection and the reality of the reactions from ecosystems during COVID's break. Right? The breath that could be taken by the collective Aina at that time was one that we didn't capitalize on it. We didn't use that and create a new blueprint for how we engage in tourism. What is one step behind on that? But it was a blueprint that demonstrated that we can still function. Yeah. Did some of the tourism-facing entities in the service industries, did they struggle? Absolutely. And we don't want struggle for anyone. But to say that we're dependent on that is not true. The difficulty in this conversation is while I do this work here in PIA, I don't speak for Protect Preserve. I mean, I could honestly just say, fuck off.
Yeah.
You know? But
Yeah. But the
what,
way
what
you
messaging does that have?
yeah,
you know?
but the way you spoke at the beach,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted, that raw emotion.
As a practitioner in a public space, it is very aggravating to have someone come in and think that they can just sit on our wall and take their photo shoot there. It's irritating, it's annoying, it's selfish, and it's angry, right? We become angry from those moments because in that particular time, someone has chosen to be better than the space in which we've created. Yeah. The ignorance is so bliss that we can't even be mad anymore. We're just like, oh, these dum-dums. Yeah.
When we put our egos down and set aside any feelings of entitlement, we can take a closer look at how we ourselves are affecting the islands. Let's take responsibility of how we interact with Hawaii, whether as residents or visitors. This isn't a tourist destination, it's home for many. So we need to educate ourselves and respect cultural boundaries, and let Native Hawaiian voices be heard first. There are many opportunities for us to give back to the land in which we reside, and we would like to suggest Protect Preserve Hawaii is one of them. And also, a sincere mahalo for all your time and for listening to us speak on this topic. We hope that this inspires you to look into your own life and see if any changes can be made from your mindset to your lifestyle, and learn how you can contribute to protecting Hawaii. Mahalo.
Yeah. Do we have the courage to do it? Sure. Who's gonna do it first? Right?
Because we are Hawaiian and we are a nation that is under distress, that was illegally overthrown by the United States government, but we have never relinquished ourselves to be a nation. If those kind of changes can happen, then the United States too can return to us our nation of Hawaii name.